the hands of the people who are donating. So, Martin.
Is there anyone who's not going to speak who would give me I just need 2 extra minutes.
I see.
Pick 2 back there, maybe.
Okay, I'm going to go with 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Martin, you have 4 minutes.
Thank you. Dear Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council members, staff, this is a really exciting moment. It's the culmination of several years' work. Really, the Ecology Center began thinking about Foodware in 2013 when we started accepting it in the recycling program with great reservation. And then in 2016, we had our mayor and council member Hahn running for election with zero waste as part of their platform, as 2 of our recent council members elected also included zero waste in your platforms. But at that time, they said we're really dedicated to getting the infrastructure built that the city needs rebuilt down at 2nd Street, and we really want solid programs. And that process has been started. I want to thank Chris Worthington for his leadership on that and really getting that going. And that process is well underway now. But they also said, as many others of you have said to us, how can we reduce the amount of waste overall? Not just handle more of it, but actually reduce it. And so we started to look at where are the areas that we have control over the material in our city, that it's causing multiple impacts to the businesses, to our neighborhoods, to the recycling programs, to the city operations. What are the items that really have the most significant impact on the environment, on our waterways, on our open space, on our beaches and shoreline, on the ocean? And that came really down to Foodware. It's 2/3 of our street litter in the Bay Area, and it causes significant cost and harm to our environment. Coming out of that, the Ecology Center pulled together a lot of community members with direct firsthand knowledge of Foodware, a lot of ex-commission members who had spent many years on the Zero Waste Commission discussing Foodware, had a great body of knowledge. We're very lucky in the East Bay to have an amazing nexus of experts. And so a lot of people came together, and that was nearly 18 months ago. Some initial meetings just to discuss what might be the best solutions. A lot of research and vetting has gone into the drafting of this ordinance. I want to thank Councilmember Hahn for really hammering the language and pressing us. When we first started, the thing was this long and had a gazillion definitions and all kinds of stuff in there, and it's really gotten really very tight. It's been vetted on many different levels from a public policy perspective. Tonight you will hear from businesses and from individual community members and from oceans experts and from plastic pollution experts and from recycling experts. And I just want to thank all of those people who have put in their best thinking and brought their knowledge and their research to this. There were business surveys that were done. There were customer surveys that were done. Just a tremendous amount of volunteer effort has gone into this. It is very well thought out. It's a cohesive body of public policy that's really focused on reducing overall the amount of disposable foodware in our city. And just to give you a sense, Americans today use about 235 disposable cups every year. In Berkeley, that would be roughly 40 million cups a year in our city alone. It's really quite astonishing when you think back 20 years ago, we didn't expect to walk out and carry our coffee or our cold cups everywhere we went. That was not an expectation. Starbucks has really changed that. I'll just finish up by asking how many folks here are in favor, please, if you would stand up. We've just had an overwhelming outcry for this approach and really hope that it will pass tonight. Thank you.
My name is J. Marie Howard. I'm in the 5th grade at Oxford Elementary School. I'm here because I believe we should pass the disposable free dining ordinance for the city of Berkeley. I live in downtown Berkeley, and every day I see a lot of litter. I see straws and plastic cups and plastic forks. That all comes from people eating out. I notice restaurants give out these plastic items out. We need to stop giving out plastic items. Plastic is a big problem for the environment. It gets in the ocean and it can harm turtles and jellyfish. Plastic is also bad for human health. Most plastic is not recycled. So I believe the adults need to step up so we don't make the environmental waste in the first place. Please pass the disposable free dining ordinance for me and my generation. Thanks for listening.
Good evening. My name is Alina Ida Kennedy, and I am in the 3rd grade at Oxford Elementary School. I am currently in the zero waste classroom. I believe our city can make a big difference in reducing plastic use by passing the disposable free dining ordinance. Our future depends on it. I heard there is a gyre in the ocean filled with plastic that is bigger than Texas. We don't want a gyre of plastic right outside the San Francisco Bay, do we? If it is possible for the class of 3rd graders to get all their trash from this school year into this can, then I think it is possible for the adults of Berkeley to reduce their waste. This year, instead of using plastic forks that the school district provides, we bring our own cutlery to lunch and thus reduce the school's waste. When we have parties in the classroom, we buy drinks that come in glass and we make sure nothing is brought in plastic. And today, to help you become zero waste, we made you cutlery kits. We made you these cutlery kits because we thought it'd be a good start for you to become zero waste. I think that'll be a good start for you, Berkeley City Council members, to lead the way and serve as role models for all of Berkeley, and especially for us youth. Restaurants and businesses in Berkeley, I believe you can become zero waste. My own family has changed within 2 days. If my family has changed by stopping our use of plastic water bottles in 2 days, I believe our city can change in a couple of months. I believe the disposable free dining ordinance is important because this ordinance is the start to Berkeley becoming a zero waste city. Please think of us children as the future example. I don't think 18 kids can solve the challenge of plastic pollution, but I do think a city like Berkeley can help change the world. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Emmett Shattuck. I go to Oxford Elementary School. Today I am dressed as a cuttlefish. Cuttlefish are one of the many amazing creatures that I fear will go extinct because of our addiction to plastic. Our use of plastic is creating a polluted world for children and causing many marine creatures like cuttlefish to die. Over 8 million tons of plastic are dumped into the ocean each year. When I hear the statistic, I worry about what will happen to the world I live in, the world we all live in. I worry that if we don't stop this madness, I worry that fires will become normal. I worry that for many it will be normal to lose everything to a devastating fire. I worry that it will be normal to walk around with a gas mask because of unsafe air quality. And I worry that our world will not have any amazing creatures like cuttlefish. But you, city council members, have the power, by passing this ordinance, to help reduce that statistic of plastic pollution and inspire other cities. Together, we can reduce the dumping of plastic from 8 million tons to 0. So please, pass this ordinance for the sake of cuttlefish and all marine life, as well as children like me, and save our planet. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Gurpratap Singh. I'm 9 years old and in the 4th grade at Oxford Elementary School. I believe that the city of Berkeley should pass the disposable free dining ordinance. We must work together to become a sustainable city. We should be a zero-waste city. If you think about it, using plastic is a waste of money and resources. First, you have to buy plastic utensils. These are usually produced in countries like China and shipped across the ocean. This takes resources and energy to make something that is used 5 minutes or less. Then you must spend more money to put them in the landfill. Landfills give off gases, toxins, and leachate, and pollute Mother Earth. They are a disgrace to Mother Earth. If restaurants used metal utensils, then money is not wasted to buy and dispose of plastics. Instead, customers can reuse them, so there will be less shopping and less dumping. Berkeley should become a zero-waste city because we live on the bay and near the ocean. Did you know that almost every species of animals in the ocean is endangered? Only 10,000 to 25,000 blue whales left. And the main reason every ocean animal is endangered because of plastic. Some whales think that the cans and cups are big krill and they eat them and die. Please support the new disposable free dining ordinance to reduce the use of disposable plastics and to save our bay and marine environments. It means a lot to me and my generation. Thank you for listening.
Hello, my name is Fiona Grote-Reedy. I am 10 years old and in the 4th grade at Oxford Elementary School. I believe we need this new disposable-free dining ordinance. Pollution and global warming are problems we need to address, or we will just keep polluting. We have to help. If we don't, the oceans will become even warmer than they are now. We are the ones creating the problems, like plastic pollution that is making sea animals sick. So we need to begin to fix the problems. We need to stop making plastic pollution in the first place. I was in a zero-waste classroom for one school year, last year. Here, in this 1-quart jar, is our entire landfill waste for last school year. If a class of 8 to 9-year-olds can be nearly zero waste, then the city of Berkeley can too. For me, it was very interesting to see how little trash we made. I thought it would be easy, but it's a bit harder than you would think. You need to think ahead. This experience has changed my mind, and it could change everyone's mind. I think Berkeley needs this new disposable-free dining ordinance to change people's minds and habits and help us become a zero-waste city. We must learn about what we need to stop in order to save this planet. I believe that with the disposable-free dining ordinance, the community can learn faster and find solutions faster. This ordinance could be the next major step towards saving our planet. If you skip one straw or plastic container or utensil, it still makes an impact on the earth. With more people working together, things can happen faster. Every person who helps will affect at least one other person, so the ideas will grow and spread. The disposable-free dining ordinance will change the way we think and act. Let's start this new disposable-free dining ordinance and save this planet. Thank you.
I want to thank the students at Oxford School for coming tonight and sharing your thoughts. Personally, I want to say you give me hope. You give me hope for the future. And before we continue, I'd like to see if there are any other young people in the audience under 16 years of age who would like to speak tonight. I'd like to invite you to come up first so that you can get home and get a good night's sleep. So, okay. Next speaker, please.
Sego Jackson did cede 1 minute to me.
Okay.
Thank you. My name is Angela Howe. I'm the legal director of Surfrider Foundation. I actually went to law school in Berkeley several years ago, and it's great to be back on potentially a very high note. I've been with Surfrider Foundation for over 10 years now. Surfrider is a grassroots nonprofit organization dedicated to the protection and enjoyment of the world's oceans, waves, and beaches. And we wholeheartedly support this ordinance and urge you to be a leader in creating a zero-waste city. We know from our decade-long work on bag regulation that fees on single-use items work. Here's a few statistics that help you understand how bans and fees worked in the bag arena. In Alameda County, a ban fee led to an 80% decline in the use of single-use paper and plastic bags, a 200% increase in the number of shoppers bringing reusable bags or not using a bag at all, and a 44% decrease in plastic bags found in county storm drains. So that's leading directly to our waterways and the oceans that those students care about. In San Jose, bag litter was reduced by 89% in storm drain systems, 60% in creeks and rivers, and 59% in city streets, just 2 years after a ban on single-use plastic bags went into place. And in DC, a 5-cent fee reduced bag usage from 270 million bags per year to 55 million within the first year, and over 50% fewer bags were found in annual Anacostia River cleanups. So as you can see, these fees work, and we urge you to be a leader on this and to show the rest of the nation and the world how to be a zero-waste city. Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Vice Mayor.
You are not under 16. I know that.
Council members and staff. Max ceded me an extra minute. Thank you. My name is Sandra Curtis. As I said, I came to Berkeley in 1975 for my doctorate and stayed. My children attended the Berkeley schools, and I've had the privilege to serve on 2 city commissions. My day job is as Director of Innovative Projects for Plastic Pollution Coalition. We're a project of the Earth Island Institute at the Brower Center. PPC is a global alliance focused on the reduction of single-use plastic pollution and its toxic impacts. So as you can see, this ordinance falls smack in the middle, as it's a sweet spot. It lands smack in the middle of my work. I can speak to you at length about the scourge of single-use plastic and the need for community efforts like this ordinance as models for change. I'm also here tonight, however, as a grandmother. My 5-year-old grandson was recently with me listening to a Tom Chapin song called Celebrate the Earth. The lyrics are what you're considering here tonight. What do we do for Mother Earth? What we do to Mother Earth, we do to ourselves. Send out a call to the human race to find a better way. I am deeply concerned about the increasing rates of toxic exposure to plasticizers that affect the health of our children. I participate in research on intervention strategies for behavioral change to reduce our exposure to the harmful chemicals in plastic, particularly focused on food preparation and storage. We also know from social science research that there are thresholds for making behavioral change, and those relate to cost. We know that the endocrine disrupting chemicals in plastic leach into the food or drinks they house, and the leaching is exacerbated by heat. Endocrine disrupting chemicals, bisphenols and phthalates, along with the persistent organic pollutants, the perfluorinated compounds that line coffee cups and food containers to prevent them from leaking, are implicated in the worldwide epidemic of non-communicable diseases such as cancer, obesity, infertility, learning problems, diabetes, asthma, and more. I urge you to be a model, as the song requests, for the children represented here by Oxford School and our grandchildren. Find a better way by passing this ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Monica Wilson. I'm a Berkeley resident and parent of these BUSD students who are here in support. I'm also Associate Director of a nonprofit that's based here in Berkeley. We're called Gaia. We're a global network of communities who are stopping pollution from waste and building zero waste. And I'm here tonight because our members in Indonesia, in Malaysia, the Philippines, Thailand are all reporting more and more plastic waste exports coming from the US and other countries. It's a huge issue internationally, and it's a growing issue. And as a Berkeley resident, I know that none of us want to be burdening other countries and other communities with our own waste pollution. And so in this moment, when plastic recycling has gotten so tough, we have a really amazing opportunity to turn off the tap of plastic and to confront the problem of plastic itself. And this ordinance is how Berkeley can really become a model for cities around the US and also cities all around the world who would be inspired by your action tonight. Thank you.
Hello, good evening. I'm Sylvia Targ. I'm a student at Cal, nearby. So I come to you as a student at the university studying marine science and food systems. This is something that I care about a lot. I've been working for more than 2 years with the Housing and Dining Sustainability team on our zero waste initiatives, and I've also been organizing with some really hardworking folks in this audience tonight on trying to get restaurants in Berkeley to reduce their use of single-use plastics, very similar to the goals of this ordinance. And speaking as a student who has been trying to organize this, we've run into a lot of issues from like student capacities and trying to get something like this done. And so seeing this on a governmental platform and the ability for the change to be impacted in that way is just, we need this. We really need this. We have been working towards this as students so hard. We've been doing everything that we can, and it will take a law like this for restaurateurs to listen. They have a lot of other issues to deal with, and it's a lot to balance. Good faith efforts are not enough. Having an ordinance is necessary, and it is what our city needs. Also, really quickly, can I ask Carly for your minute? Yeah. Thank you, Carly. Sorry about that. I also come here tonight, though, as an aspiring marine scientist. I'm studying marine science at Berkeley. I had the opportunity to go on a research expedition a couple summers ago where I was in the middle of the Pacific Ocean studying marine geochemistry. It was all fascinating. The only interaction I had with people on land was through plastic in the ocean that I saw miles and miles out in the middle of the ocean. You miss your family, you miss your friends. The only thing you see is a plastic straw floating on the surface, or a fork, and you're thinking, wow, this is how humans are represented on the majority of this planet, is through our plastic. By 2050, our oceans will have more plastic in them than fish. And as someone who wants to be a marine biologist, that's really, really sad, but it's not just sad for me, it's sad for everyone, even if you don't care about fish. The impacts of our microplastics come back to us. It's not just all the animals will die, all the animals are endangered, that's so sad. It is tragic, but what happens to those fish? They eat those plastics, we eat those fish, we are eating these plastics. We are hurting our own species by doing this, not only other species. I think that Berkeley, as a coastal city, has a responsibility to move forward with this. If we are going to do this, we set a really good example for everyone else who is watching what we do. People watch Berkeley. People watch the University of California, Berkeley. People watch the city of Berkeley for how we move forward on these issues, and it is our responsibility as a city to move forward with this ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dante Gonzalez, and I'm here as a resident of District 8. Also as the Berkeley representative of the UC-wide Carbon Neutrality Initiative, and as a staff member of our campus's Student Environmental Resource Center, I am here strongly in favor of the proposed ordinance tonight. In our current political, social, and physical climate, drastic efforts towards reduction of waste over recycling is essential. The reality of waste is that it is commonly not processed in the communities that create it, but it places the burden on our oceanic ecosystems and marginalized communities, directly affecting mental and physical health of community members. Policies such as these are essential for both their preservation and their resilience. It's time for Berkeley to continue their stand. I believe this ordinance presents an effective and equitable prevention and source reduction approach that targets the most problematic materials while bringing many benefits to the business community. I strongly urge you to vote yes to adopt this ordinance and the associated referrals to the city manager. It is the right thing for our community and is the right thing for our planet. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Annie Kaplan, and my daughter Juliet, who's 5 years old, really wanted to say something. Okay. Next time.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members. Oh, sorry. My name is Krista Torney. I'm a zero waste and recycling consultant, but I'm also the chair of the Zero Waste Commission. And although I'm not speaking for the commission, I could speak a little to the process about what we went through this summer. I need about 3 extra minutes. Can anyone see? Good? You got that? I'll go ahead. So I've been fortunate enough to be working on this project. There are 3. Can we have 3 hands, please?
Okay, which 3? Can you stand up, please?
They got it.
Okay, we'll do 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Is that good? Okay, great. All right, thank you. All right. So I've been working with this project's authors and the contributors for nearly 2 years. It's a mission. As chair of both the commission and the single-use disposable foodware subcommittee, I led a several-month effort last summer to gather public input on the ordinance as requested by the council when they referred it to the commission in April. So listening sessions were held to explain the ordinance itself, the need for this type of approach to reduce our waste stream and mitigate environmental issues. And it was an intense, far-reaching process. It included 4 public information events, and Councilmember Hahn, Mayor Arreguín, Ecology Senator Martin Bourque, representatives from Rethink Disposable of Clean Water Action, they all presented. We held the sessions in different parts of the city at different times of day and different days of the week to allow for maximum attendance opportunities. We also had 3 extended public comment periods at our monthly meetings. We solicited input from other city commissions, as well as from restaurants, local businesses, various community stakeholder groups, including the disabled and low-income community organizations. And the city was very helpful. They regularly disseminated the announcements for these events. I think that we had very good public engagement. So throughout the process, the commissioners listened, we heard, we analyzed, and we finally submitted some recommendations. And those were all based on the proposed ordinance that we were given in April. We sent recommendations back so that that ordinance could be fine-tuned in order to achieve its goals while considering the impact on businesses and individuals. The authors have, deftly, nimbly responded, and that's evidenced even by tonight with changes that were made to address many of the recommendations, public input, and the will of the community. So I'm convinced it's a viable and effective piece of legislation to initiate the change we need, which is what we need to do is reduce waste. And it's not when, it's how. And this problem can't be solved simply by moving something from a black bin, from a blue bin, to a green bin. So though the compostable solution is really a great step away from plastics, it is not the solution, because reduction is the key to the goal, and it provides the highest overall economic and environmental benefit for us. And reuse through the restaurants providing the reusable dine-in-ware, that's a very effective way for us to get there. So much of our disposables end up in landfill no matter what, and it's expensive for the city to operate that, to collect it, to process it. We pay to take our plastics away. They're no longer of any value because the recycling markets have crashed. So it's costly to the city, the management of the materials and combating the sheer litter and environmental nuisance. So if we focus solely on changing materials, we'll ultimately end up overwhelming our compost facilities, and we'll reduce the quality of that compost because these are nutrient-lacking materials, will generate higher emissions and fuel costs due to hauling the increased loads down to our contracted facility in the Central Valley. So the city of Berkeley does have a goal of zero waste in 2020, which is right around the corner, and it was voted on by council in 2012. So we have to get serious how we get there. The city has been a leader for a long time. It's recognized for being the first city to have curbside recycling pickup. But right now we're kind of beyond resting on our laurels. We're really falling far behind from achieving our goals and ideals. So I hope that we lead again and we set a new standard. I urge you to vote yes on this and move it forward because many, many eyes are on Berkeley to see what we're doing. Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Eric Fenster. I'm the owner of Gather Restaurant in downtown Berkeley. And as a business owner in the community, I stand strongly in support of this ordinance. We as a society need to be looking at our behaviors and our impacts and our use of plastics. And I am just so proud to be part of a community that actually creates and models solutions that inspire the nation and really the world. So I'm here to stand in support, and thank you all.
Good evening, council members. I'm Stuart Baker. Oh, can I get a minute? Yes. Thank you. So 2 minutes. My name is Stuart Baker. I'm the executive director for the Telegraph Business Improvement District, and I've met extensively with affected merchants on this topic. I've also had the chance to discuss with council members. Thank you, Councilmember Hahn, for meeting with us in the downtown and working hard to find compromises where possible. And thanks as well to Councilmember Kesarwani for holding the Merchant Roundtable. I thought that was really helpful. So in general, most of our food vendors agree something really needs to be done. The Telegraph Business Improvement District, we pick up 75 tons of litter every year. And I'm sure, you know, it's unless something is done, that number will only go up. We're actually even in the process of designing reusable ware with Telegraph on it, so we can encourage and support businesses as they make the transition. I just want to bring up 3 issues that remain for some of the merchants that are transitioning, just to speak what those are. One of them is the challenge around timing, and that is the financial challenge right on the heels of the $15 minimum wage increase is seen by some of the, especially the more economical eateries, as a big challenge for them where their margins are very low. And as well, some of the economical eateries are concerned that their clientele are more sensitive than average to the price increase. When your cost is low and you have to increase prices, that's a challenge. And likely the biggest concern for some of the smallest establishments are around the dishwashing element. There's the concern that if they have to get a permit to get a dishwasher, that triggers other permits. If they've been grandfathered in the past, then suddenly they're facing a situation where there's a lot of challenges. So we encourage and support this, and hopefully we can work through all the final details. Thank you so much.
Pam Bell Chamber. I'm a Berkeley resident. I serve on the Berkeley, on the Recycling Board of Community Conservation Centers, which operates the material recovery service at 2nd and Gilman, and I need a couple of extra minutes. Okay. Thank you. Your materials that are collected by Ecology Center, by the city. Oh, sorry about that. The materials received by CCC, collected by the city and the Ecology Center and the public, these materials are delivered to the site, run through a sorting line, and are baled for shipment to market. There are materials, particularly some plastics, that should never enter the recycling stream. Most obvious are those items that serve no particular purpose. We don't need them. We don't have to use them. So let's remove them from the menu, like plastic utensils and glassware, or drinking. A little known fact, these small plastic items like straws and plastic utensils, even though every attempt is made to recycle them by the eateries, by everyone here, and by the city, whether compostable or not, may never be recycled. These small items fall through the sorting screen, slip from the bales, drop to the floor, and end up with the debris left from the recycling process. Here they remain, and try as we may, try as you may, they simply fall into the debris, make their way to the landfill, wherever that might be. So the conclusion is that these items are superfluous, pointless, problematic, and environmentally damaging. CCC supports a common sense approach to resource recovery. We support the action before you. Thank you.
Hello, I'm John Hanscom, resident of the city of Berkeley, and I have been working with waste reduction and Rethink Disposable, and I've worked in the city and county of San Francisco, Alameda County, and currently in Santa Clara County. I've worked with almost 50 businesses and setting up for waste reduction through eliminating disposable items in favor of reusable ones. This is what a question I get a lot of the time. Which cup should I use? One of these is made out of plant, and one of these is made out of oil. I can't tell the difference. They can't either. Consumers can't tell them either. Can't tell the difference either. So I also get questions about should we have paper straws, compostable straws. I think I answer no straw. Does anybody use a straw at home? Just reduce these items here. It's a hierarchy: reduce, reuse, recycle, and we all go to the recycle and we forget about the reduce and the reuse. It's also about the dining experience. I've worked with a number of businesses, and they said it's improved the dining experience. This is not a good dining experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, council members. Stephen Sherman, Berkeley resident. I've been a board member of Upstream for 10 years. I've got 30 years of experience as a consultant and as an operator in developing municipal composting programs around the country, including Berkeley's in the 1990s. And one of the things that we've learned is that these cups are lined with polyethylene, and they don't fully degrade. They don't make good compost. They're not good for the soil. They're not good for the environment. They're not good for people. We need to switch to BPI certified cups. This paper lined with plastic film, paper that contains various chemicals, it also doesn't digest anaerobically. We can't send it to the East Bay Municipal Utility District and make renewable energy from it. They don't want it. It doesn't make particularly good compost. Fully compostable is better. Even better would be to make less waste. It costs over $200 a ton to collect and process this stuff. It's expensive, and we don't need it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Is it possible to get some extra time? Could I get 3 minutes?
Can I see the hands again, please? Thank you. You have 4 minutes.
Awesome. Well, then I can take it back a second, because seeing the children here today really reminded me of my experience in Girl Scouts. Truthfully, that's what got me involved in environmental issues, growing up in a city. And I would say I was that Girl Scout on the beach cleaning up the plastics back in the 80s. And I was learning about and teaching everyone about recycling. And I wrote a book for children when I was 12 called The Magical Trash Fairy. And here I am. I won't tell you how many years later, but I'm still working on it. I made a career out of it. So now I'll actually go to my script. So hello and good evening. My name is Samantha Summer, and I'm here representing the national nonprofit organization Clean Water Action. I've been managing the implementation and growth of our Rethink Disposable program for the last 4 years. Rethink Disposable is a free certification program for food operators to voluntarily reduce wasteful and costly disposable foodware packaging and transition to reusables for on-site dining. Our trained specialists work one-on-one with food operators to offer and implement recommendations for reusables and provide that necessary technical assistance during that transition period. We measure the impacts of our recommendations through a packaging audit before and after becoming certified. We've worked with various food establishments in 8 counties throughout California, from Los Angeles all the way up to Marin County. And we currently have 150 certified food businesses and institutions, and another 70 businesses in process of becoming certified in California. This program is growing because we've shown it can work, and it can work for businesses. We've shown that businesses of all kinds of businesses can minimize disposables and transition to reusable packaging, overcome perceived and real barriers, reduce waste and litter, all while saving significant money. Our goal at Clean Water Action is to protect the planet and people's health. Our goal is also for businesses in our local communities to thrive. While changing a business's operation takes time and investment up front, the return on investment on transitioning from disposable to reusable food or packaging is usually less than a few months, and there are further cost savings from reduced waste hauling. The money and time that businesses save from not having to continually procure and haul hundreds of types of disposable foodware items can be reallocated into a better business operation. So we like to think we're building efficiency in these businesses so they can sustain and thrive into the future. Just as one example, in the city of Alameda, where we had the backing of a mandatory foodware ordinance, we have our highest density of Rethink Disposable certified businesses fostering a true culture of reuse. Just 16 of our 48 certified businesses in the city of Alameda collectively eliminated 1.7 million pieces of single-use disposable foodware packaging items. That totals 25,000 pounds of waste that won't end up on our streets or in our landfills. And those businesses, I'm proud to say, are annually saving net cost savings of $55,000 a year. In Berkeley, our most recent certified Berkeley food business, 4th Street Bagel, Han Tron, the owner, does not have a dishwasher and was able to seamlessly roll out a transition from disposable to reusable foodware for plates, coffee mugs, sauce cups, soda cups, and stir spoons. These small changes, with the help of our technical assistance specialist, helps that business eliminate almost 33,000 pieces of disposable foodware packaging. Over 1,000 pounds of waste are eliminated, almost $800 of annual net cost savings. Clean Water Action urges the City Council to vote yes on this groundbreaking ordinance, because while our Rethink Disposable program is successful and the results speak for themselves, we can only go so far to end the throwaway culture, working with businesses that voluntarily participate. To stop life cycle pollution from packaging that is used for minutes and then discarded requires the leadership of a city to determine how the future of business and the environment will support each other, while also working towards our established city clean water, zero waste, and clean air goals. Berkeley is a leader, and the rest of the Bay Area and the country are looking to what you do today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I have these letters, almost 30 letters from our Clean Water Action members and businesses that support the ordinance.
You can give them to the city clerk. Thank you so much. Next speaker.
Oh, your cup, Samantha. I'm getting a minute from Monica at Disjoy. My name is Honorable Council Members and Mayor. I'm Miriam Gordon. I'm the former California Director of Clean Water Action and creator of Rethink Disposable. I am now the Program Director with Upstream, a national NGO whose mission is to end the throwaway culture. We clear-cut forests and produce oil and natural gas to make throwaway food packaging products that we use in a matter of minutes. This has created such a bad litter problem that some commercial streets in Berkeley have to be swept 4 times a day. The solution is to reduce single use as much as possible. The cup charge will further this goal, working just like... Hello? The cup charge will further this goal, working just like the single-use bag charges that have resulted in an 80% increase in people bringing reusable bags. The 25-cent charge is based on consumer research conducted in the Bay Area in 2016 by Clean Water Action when I was the director. 73% of customers told us that 25 cents is what would change their behavior. A lower charge would not motivate them to bring reusable cups. 63% of Berkeley businesses surveyed said that they would support this charge if they get to keep it, which they do. Research shows that visible charges change consumer behavior. Discounts don't. Case in point, Starbucks has always offered a discount for people who bring reusables. They haven't even managed to achieve a 5% rate of customers using reusables with a discount. A Bay Area litter survey that I conducted in 2011 showed that 13% of street litter could be reduced by moving to reusable cups. Now, movements start from the ground up. Berkeley enacted the first styrofoam container ban in 1989, leading the way for another 140 bans in California, and last year a ban on styrofoam for state facilities. Still have another minute, right? The same thing happened with plastic bag bans.
I'm sorry, Miriam, your time is...
Is that 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, I want to urge your I vote, because we can build these movements from the ground up, just like you did with the styrofoam ban. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Susan Blackman. I'm a 25-year resident and homeowner in Berkeley, District 8. former Zero Waste Commissioner, and a current NCRA board member with our 200, and I'm representing our 270 members today. My organization and I support the ordinance. This ordinance is necessary if Berkeley is to reach Alameda County's 75% diversion from landfill goal and stormwater permit requirements. Berkeley leads in waste reduction, as we've heard. It's now time for Berkeley to take another strong stand by addressing the overuse of disposable foodware. By charging for cups, this ordinance will move us from a throwaway culture to one where reusables are the norm, getting us to focus on reduction rather than getting more disposables in the right bin. This is the right thing for Berkeley and the planet. Please vote for this ordinance.
Good evening, City Council. Jenny over here offered to give me a minute. I'm Jack Macy, a Berkeley resident, school parent, and I've also been in the profession of zero waste for over 30 years, the last 24 leading and developing San Francisco's zero waste program. We've done a lot there. I've been proud of San Francisco to be able to have led with the first bag ban, and after that expanding that around the state and bag charges that are now statewide accessible, the most comprehensive styrofoam ban, and recently last year, single-use foodware, plastics, and toxic and litter reduction. And it was quite broad. It got winnowed down, but a lot of us in San Francisco are excited about what's happening in Berkeley, as what we see happening here is really taking the best of many local ordinances and building on that and going further. So all these aspects of banning recyclable plastics that contaminate the environment, requiring fully compostable foodware through BPI certification that will help get rid of the toxic fluorinated chemicals that we find there, getting rid of the plastic that's in a lot of the foodware going into compost. All of that really makes a big difference. So if we look at what local governments have done from Alameda, Santa Cruz, San Francisco, Santa Monica, this is taking all of that and going further in a really sound, sustainable, reusable solution that is win-win-win for local businesses, the environment, the city. We've done the Rethink Disposable program in San Francisco, and we've seen how a lot of businesses can save money. And if you think about a cup with its accoutrements, the lid, the straw, the sleeve, that often ends up around 25 cents. Why not have the people that actually want that single-use item for convenience be paying for it and not having everybody else pay for it? So there's a real logic. It really builds on the success of bag charges. We know it's going to work. It's the most effective way to change consumer behavior and cultural change. I guess that was my 2 minutes. So I just urge you to support this, and thank you very much.
Is this blocking my face? Hi, my name is Nicole Kozlowski from SF Surfrider Foundation Rise Above Plastics, former Berkeley resident and about a decade of restaurant experience here in Berkeley. I joined Surfrider because of how deeply concerned I was about the sheer volume of waste exiting restaurants on a daily basis from disposables alone. I've placed the order for these disposables and watched money literally be thrown away. There is no away. It's not that restaurants don't care. It's that we as a society have prioritized convenience above all else. And as said before many times tonight, the consequences are grave. We are quite literally walking through our own pollution every day on the sidewalks and streets. When will we notice? When it's ankle high? When it's knee high? This isn't a litter issue, it's a cultural ritual that will get exponentially worse unless we collectively take action. I have seen the positive effects of switching from disposables to reusables. I ordered my lunch in this to go today. And so thank you for your time and careful consideration for this major issue.
Hi, I think I might need 1 minute from someone, if that's okay. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Annie Farman. I'm on the board of Plastic Pollution Coalition. I'm also a Berkeley resident and homeowner. I've also developed several reusable cup programs at large-scale events like Outside Lands. I've also spoken with dozens of businesses about this specific ordinance. Here's a letter of 15 businesses who are in support of this ordinance. The businesses who haven't been, the feedback has been basically narrowed down into 3 different categories. The first one being space in the specific business. Second one being people's various cup sizes and how to deal with operational issues around that. And the third one is whether or not this charge will dissuade people from coming to their business. Spatially, stocking reusables or stocking disposables is not that different. If people start bringing their own reusable cups, that could help solve some of those issues. Also, programs like Rethink Disposable have worked with over 1,000 businesses in this area and can come in and really help businesses work that out. People's personal cup sizes. You know, some of these businesses might have to make the drinks in their own measuring cup or their own cup and then pour it into people's personal cups. A lot of bars and coffee shops already do this. People want what's most convenient. People are not going to be driving to a different county to avoid a 25-cent charge when they can avoid that charge if they just bring their own cup. Business in general, it seems like they want the freedom to work it out on their own, to figure out how to be in compliance with this ordinance, and this ordinance is written in the way that does this. If they need help, there are grants available, waivers available, and other assistance available if they need. The end result is that reducing single use makes money for the businesses and saves money for our government.
Could you wait 1 second? I believe Councilman Mahan would like to ask you a question.
Yes, please. If you could just read the names of the businesses that have signed the letter in support.
Yeah. The Butcher's Son, Smoke Berkeley Barbecue, Algorithm Coffee, Himalayan Flavors, Gather, Augie's Montreal Deli, Ajanta, Saul's Restaurant and Delicatessen, Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream, Nabalone Bakery and Pizza, Momo, Chez Panisse. I actually have a letter specifically from Chez Panisse also. I sent it to the council earlier. Caravaggio, Gorilla Cafe, and Taste of the Himalayas. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Michael Simonitis. My company is Wastebusters, and we've been doing zero waste events in the Bay Area since 2008. It only took a couple years and a couple 100,000 single-use disposables that we sorted by hand, despite our, really good-looking source separation program to have us realize that that wasn't really going to work. So we started Sudbusters in 2010 to provide a reusable alternative for special events. We put a deposit on cups, plates, forks, etc., and people use them and return them, eliminating dumpsters full of waste. So our program facilitates waste prevention by offering an educational and affordable option for event goers to choose to reuse and avoid Sud plastics. Back in after 3 years of providing the program for events ranging from 20 to 50,000 people a day, large music festivals and whatnot. I guess that's it. The one thing, it's apparently illegal to have reusable plates at temporary food facilities, so I ask that if you do pass this, you also help us clear up the health code. Section 114353 prevents reusables at events, and we'd like to offer plates too. We are offering cups now.
Good evening, City Council members. My name is Sarah Koplowitz, and I am the Business and Operations Manager of Sudbusters. Mike and I are working together to try and bring reusables back to special events in the Bay Area, as well as to other types of venues such as bars, concert halls, or school campuses. Now that there is some policy coming out of San Francisco and hopefully out of the city of Berkeley tonight related to encouraging and requiring use of reusable dishes, we are now located, we operate out of the East Bay, and so we're really excited about this opportunity to work with local businesses and event coordinators to provide our turnkey solution for reusable cups and other types of foodware down the road. So we just are here to put in our support for this tonight and urge you to vote yes and to help reduce our waste stream, as well as make it possible to reduce just the general waste of resources involved with single-use disposables. Thank you.
Good evening, Berkeley City Council. My name is Danielle Epifani, and I'm a parent of an adult son, a business owner, a teacher, a resident of over 25 years in Berkeley. I am here tonight in part because I helped to participate in the restaurant survey in restaurants in downtown Berkeley. My interest was, as a small business owner, to reach out to them and hear what their concerns were. And what struck me tonight is that when Mr. Bourque asked how many people in the room were in favor of the ordinance, we saw an overwhelming majority of signs, just like these. And what struck me is that I want to come here as a business owner primarily and on behalf of those who I spoke with, to encourage any business owners that have concerns that the community doesn't support them. When we look at a room that's full like this and we see all of the people here who are in favor, I think that they can feel confident that this is what we want and we are here to support that change. Is that my time? All righty. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Maymay Everson. I'm a former Berkeley resident. It was really because of Berkeley that I learned a lot about composting and other things. This is just a rough visual of like maybe 30 minutes of what one person creates in disposable. So I decided to try to live a little bit less plastic lifestyle by carrying different kits and utensils and things. But honestly, I don't really enjoy this kind of lifestyle. I'm hoping the city will put a stop. I did take a 30-day plastic-free challenge, and even though the 30 days looks like the kids earlier did a lot better than me, but the 30-day plastic-free challenge, and yet I still refused the straw and still came into my life. I would really love for this ordinance to pass so that I don't have to refuse plastic anymore. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Chris Slafter, and I'm here today representing Clean Water Action and the 4,000 plus members we have here in Berkeley. As a business consultant for Clean Water Action's Rethink Disposable program, and as a former restaurant employee, I've certified over 100 businesses throughout 7 Bay Area cities, and I want to dispel the severity of 2 primary obstacles, sometimes real, often perceived, facing business owners considering the transition from single-use foodware items to reusable items for dine-in. These are labor costs and dishwashing capacity, which set up an ongoing cost and auxiliary concern. First, let's take a look at labor using the Alameda Cineplex and Cinema Grill as an example. Before participating, the Cinema Grill delivered food to moviegoers inside the theater using only single-use foodware items in a reusable caddy. Our team worked with the Cineplex to transition to all reusable foodware items for theater delivery and fine-tune the operational choreography so that Alameda Cineplex successfully and profitably made the change. Despite the fact that the Cineplex's labor costs increased, they still enjoyed an annual net savings of almost $10,000 after considering all SIP and ongoing costs. Can I get 30 seconds? Oh, sweet. Sorry about that. Dishwashing capacity and cost is also the other major concern. Crispy and Bakery in Alameda installed a rental dishwasher so that they could efficiently wash the dishes used for participation in Rethink Disposal without increasing labor costs. After investing in upfront costs and considering all ongoing costs, Crispy and Bakery enjoys an annual net savings of almost $2,000. I understand that changes to business operations are scary and potentially difficult. However, it has been my experience, and the experience of the 100-plus businesses I've certified, that that is almost never the case. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Alan King. I'm a homeowner and resident of Berkeley for the last 30 years. I am also the owner of Excellent Packaging, a wholesale distribution company that has been selling compostable foodware for the past 15 years in Berkeley and the Bay Area and and across the United States. So this is my business, selling single-use disposables. I fully support this measure. I've been saying this for years. We started 15 years ago selling compostable containers and takeout to UC Berkeley, and my goal, I told my partners at the time, was to put ourselves out of business by getting people to use less plastic and to reuse or reduce, reuse, and refuse, and not reuse disposables. But one thing I did want to tell you is that in my experience for 15 years selling these products, there are affordable foodware alternatives to every application that any business owner has. So you can rest assured that there are products they can use that are compostable. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. My name is Aladdin Samakie. I own and operate the 2 Berkeley McDonald's locations. I want to lead with that, in principle, I'm very supportive of this ordinance. I admire the goals, and I want to be part of the solution. I believe we need to improve the environment, and again, I know we need solutions. To comply, I likely will need the city's help, and I'm aware of the waiver clause, and I did have a chance to speak with Councilmember Hahn, which I'm very appreciative of. And as a business owner, it does make me nervous to solely rely on a waiver process to be able to run my business here in Berkeley. I do know that I can comply if language could be amended in a way that would allow a restaurant such as mine that has a different dining model and does not have the operational space for a dish pit and the ability to store some of the reusable wares to utilize a compostable packaging set for both dine-in and dine-out that might be also ASTM standard certified for commercial compostability. Again, I will work with the city, and I'm both in favor of seeing a solution for the environment and one that also works with the business community.
Good evening, City Council. My name is Farhad Salihian. I'm the founder and CEO of DishJoy, DISHJOY.com. We are a local founded Bay Area startup for about 3-4 years now. We're servicing about 5,000 people daily from using disposable dishware in office settings, but we are very much ready to extrapolate that to restaurants and other types of businesses. The secret really is just sharing the machinery in order to get the costs down for everybody so that they can make this transition. You haven't heard any objections from anybody in this room except for cost and logistics, right? So if you kind of share, or we can deliver dishes to the offices, or to the locations, or we can help the companies install shared machinery nearby, then that will allow for the sharing of a reusable dishware program throughout a city, and we can make that a model for the world, honestly. And the secret is that it is actually profitable if you get it the right scale. So we're ready to scale up and help Berkeley, like many other businesses in this room. Thank you.
Hi, quick question. How many people here are currently unhoused? One person in this room is currently unhoused, and so today I would like to talk about the cost of living, and if I could, to extend my privilege and be the voice. In 2016, I was one of the lead organizers for the California Public Interest Research Group in order to Save the Bag Ban campaign. My goal today is to bring class consciousness to this discussion. Food stamps are going to be cut at the end of February, and in order to make these solutions possible, people have to have access to a stove, containers, and refrigerators to make food security possible with this ban. This is going to cause dine-in to surge, especially amongst the unhoused communities. We need another solution, and while I support this effort, I also want to talk about how I did not see anything talking about access for NGOs to receive these resources, and specifically Food Not Bombs or Suitcase Clinic, as well as I think compost bins and publicly accessible parks for the free distribution of the soil to compostable and community gardens is necessary. And so again, I would like you to think about the unhoused people specifically about these solutions, as they cannot take the extra fee, as well as community-based design in order for self-determination and food security. Thank you.
90 years old. Will somebody give me a couple of minutes? 2 or 3 minutes, okay. I was born in Galveston, Texas, 3 miles from Texas City, Texas. Can you please come up to the microphone? We want to hear you.
I was born in Galveston, Texas, which is the oil country of shipping. My grandfather, was the one who would put the oil derricks out of he had 12 in his crew, put oil derricks out. They have gone and used so much oil now, Vaseline, we call it celluloid. You know, that's those stiff cows, that was celluloid. Now it's plastic, you know, and whatever other name you want to use it. But these things has always been detrimental to the ethnic people who went into those oil bins. And then when I see Berkeley being gentrification in Berkeley, and you ship them out by the oil den, and then you're going to bring them in from Canada, why doesn't Canada take care of its own? I have sailed the sea, and I flew by air, and everywhere I've gone, and I've traveled the world. My husband was a serviceman. They gave us aluminum things to eat, you know, to eat out of. But what I'm saying, my father came to California in the early December of 1942 to avoid being kicked into an oil drum with the plastic and all of that stuff there. Every one of my family members died with cancer. Cancer. Nobody wants to live where it's dirty. Nobody wants to live. And when I see my people moving to Stockton and all those places where oil comes and they're trapped there, that makes me sick. When I see them dumping from ships, see, you guys just begin to travel by ships. But as dependents and servicemen travel by ships. They threw the food right over, everything right over into the ocean. You know what I mean? Right into the ocean. And I questioned the captain, why you throw it in the ocean? Can some of that stuff be reused? No. Even my mother, all my children have an allergy because of contamination. But we don't have a voice. We don't have a voice. You move us whenever you want us to be moved. This is what I'm trying to tell you. What the steps you're taking now is the right step for everybody's health. Not just pink people. It's for everybody's health. You see? It's for everybody's health. So I just want to let you know that what I'm fighting for is for the right thing and stop all this hate and protect my policemen, because who we go call if they get hurt?
Hello, thank you. My name is Matt Wincoop. I work for World Centric. We're a manufacturer of compostable certified, BPI compostable certified products. I want to applaud the council for considering this ordinance. I think it's great. Reusable products are the most sustainable option out there. Single-use disposables, whether they're compostable or not, are inherently wasteful. So it's ironic to call a single-use disposable sustainable. However, I wanted to also just address the fact that during the 3-year period before you require reusables, you're requiring plant-based certified compostable products. That's great because it's helping us reduce our addiction to oil. Like the last speaker pointed out, we have an addiction to oil and it's making us sick. We've only been manufacturing petrochemical single-use products since the earliest part of the 20th century. What we've done to the earth in such a short amount of time, when humans have lived on the earth for thousands of years, is just madness. We're talking about reducing our emissions, and we should not be extracting anything like oil from the earth to make single-use disposables. There are existing materials that are made from plants that we can use in the interim until we all can be using reusables. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Anna Whitney. I'm a student government senator at UC Berkeley, and I sat on the Zero Waste Commission while the Disposable Free Ordinance was being developed. I went to every single public hearing that the commission held to gather public input. I listened as businesses of all stripes voiced their concerns, most of them quite legitimate and specific. I was very satisfied to see each one of the comments that businesses made considered carefully and reflected in the recommendations of the Zero Waste Commission and in the final ordinance. Even through now, the city is still committed to supporting businesses through the transition. I'm confident that we have something that can work for everyone and ultimately make Berkeley a zero waste leader in the United States. Thank you.
Can I get 2 minutes, please? Thank you. Good evening, Honorable Mayor on the phone and Vice Mayor and council members, city staff, friends, and community members. My name is Peter Schultz-Allen. I'm a South Berkeley homeowner, and I'm very proud to be here tonight to express my gratitude to all of you for considering this groundbreaking ordinance and be able to voice my full support for its adoption. I served on the Zero Waste Commission for 11 years. During that same period, I also coordinated the City of Emeryville's environmental programs. I now work in the municipal stormwater consulting field, specializing in green infrastructure and litter reduction policy. Here are my thoughts on why the ordinance before you tonight deserves your vote. Berkeley has a litter problem, and it's not alone in that. Trash hotspots are primarily in commercial districts, so a business-focused ordinance makes sense. South Berkeley in particular needs improvement. All single-use foodware, even the most environmentally friendly types, can become litter. The municipal regional stormwater permit requires Berkeley to eliminate discharges of litter to the bay and ocean by 2022. So this is not really even an option for the city. This is something you kind of have to do, but you have some choices of how you do it. You can try to install trash capture devices throughout the whole city and increase the maintenance costs for those trash capture devices, or you can try to reduce the litter that goes to those trash capture devices and reduce the maintenance costs. But one way or the other, the city is going to have to eliminate litter. The city also has ongoing costs of servicing public garbage receptacles and street sweeping. Business districts also pay to clean up litter into the streets. These costs will only increase in the future, but the ordinance can reduce that burden. The primary focus is on reducing litter, and it signals to customers that convenience has a cost. It creates a revenue stream that businesses can use to pay for washing plates, cups, and utensils, cleaning up litter, and for purchasing higher quality single-use foodware. In closing, I would like to give you one example. I talked with a Berkeley cafe owner who supports the ordinance because they prefer that customers stay at the cafe and drink their beverage on site in a washable cup. The proposed 25-cent charge will incentivize customers to do that, and when they want to take their drink to go, the charge will cover the high cost the cafe pays for each of the truly compostable single-use paper cups that they provide. This ordinance takes the issue of plastic pollution and waste reduction seriously. It's effective, comprehensive, well-designed, flexible, and demonstrates leadership. On behalf of my children and future generations, I thank you.
Hi, my name is Pauline Bondano. I'm Executive Director of Community Health Education Institute and a Berkeley resident. And I just wanted to applaud the council's measure and thank you for addressing this tonight. It is a madness that we've been living in. When I've lived in other countries, particularly in Italy for some time, you don't see the use of single-use plastic items there. I mean, it's just barely starting, probably because of the influence of the USA there. But even if we look back in our own lives, not too far past, you know, believe it or not, we were able to survive without all these items. And having a customer eat something in a store, myself making a pledge for the students that we work with that they will no longer have the single-use plastic items is a really good way to help them become aware of the toxicity of these items leaching as well into the bay, into the earth. And also politically, how can we take a political stand with the smallest, tiniest things that we do? If we know some of these items are made from oil and the Black Sea, we can perhaps help influence our politicians by stopping to use them. Thank you very much.
Hello, hi, my name is Mia Gamboa, and I'm just so happy to be here today. So I just wanted to share a story with you. I'm actually originally from LA. I came up here to study at Cal for, I've been here for 12 years or so. And I was recently visiting my family, and so my mom lives in Bellflower, and the apartment complex where she lives actually doesn't have any kind of recycling, which completely trips me out because I live in Berkeley. So I just thought, wow, that's amazing. There's still places in the country that don't even have recycling. But anyway, so we're having a discussion, and my mom likes to use, paper plates. And so it was just interesting as we had this thing going back and forth where she was like, my nephew was there, and I just was explaining to her how it's like so important to me, because when I look at my nieces and nephews, how important it is for me to do something not only for myself but for the next coming generations. And so I support this ordinance, and thank you so much for letting me share.
I'd like to thank Natalie, Elisa, and Dewi for each ceding me a minute so that I have 4 total. My name is Annie Leonard. It is an honor to be here. Thank you so much for considering this important issue. I am a Berkeley resident. I am the founder of the Story of Stuff project, which is based in Berkeley, and I'm the executive director of Greenpeace USA. And on behalf of our 15,000 supporters in the Berkeley area, I urge you to pass the disposable-free dining ordinance. I have also spent 3 decades of my life traveling around the world studying the supply chain of plastic, so I've seen the impacts firsthand. My mother told me that when she was a child and she used to go to the shoe store to find out if her shoe fit, she would put on the shoe and then stick her foot in a rudimentary wooden box that had an X-ray machine in it, and they would look through a visor to see if the shoe fit. Now, when we hear that today, we are aghast. We think, what were they thinking? Did they not know there was another, cleaner, safer, better way to see if your shoe fit? Our grandchildren and great-grandchildren will have that same level of aghastness when they find out that we used to use single-use plastic for minutes for dining. They will ask us, why did you do that? Why did you drill fossil fuels on public lands, indigenous lands, on arable farmlands, on critical marine ecosystems? Why did you transport those fossil fuels on pipelines that leak and contaminate aquifers, on oil trains that blow up and literally incinerate human beings and entire towns? Why did you transport those to petrochemical industrial areas where the petrochemical facilities are so concentrated and the pollution so dense that they have names like Cancer Alley, and they are populated with low-income and communities of color that we write off as national sacrifice zones? And why in those petrochemical plants did you take those fossil fuels and mix in endocrine disruptors and carcinogens and neurotoxins as plasticizers and stabilizers, and take that toxic fossil fuel contaminated mess and shape it into plates and bowls and cups, and then ship it thousands of miles more to restaurants to put food on it, to use it for literally minutes? And then why did you throw it away, where it fueled incinerators and clogged landfills and littered our landscape, and we had to pay dozens of people just to go pick it up, or it went into the oceans where it broke down into microfibers and permeated the marine ecosystem and our supply chain and now our bodies? Why did you do all that when you could have just washed a dish? This system is dysfunctional, and the whole world is asking, what is the better way? Berkeley is the environmental pace car of the nation. It is our moment right now to stand up and say there is a safer and simpler and better way, and we are going to do it. We are going to break this dysfunction. Berkeley has a long record of courageously speaking out about the externalized environmental and human rights violations associated with our plastic use. We have fought incinerators. We have said no to oil trains. Now what we must do is bring our own practices in line with our values and say enough. Enough new drilling fossil fuels, enough environmental racism. We are going to stop using single-use plastic in Berkeley. Thank you, Berkeley, for making me Berkeley proud. Please support this ordinance.
My name is Rudra Palmer, and I've been homeless most of my adult life. there are very few things that we need, I've learned, as humans. We need clean water, we need clean air, we need clean food, and shelter is nice. But we also need love. And if you don't get rid of this plastic from this place that we know is toxic, it's not good for me when I'm in the streets. It's not good for our bays as I pick it out of the water. It's certainly not an act of love towards me or the people in this room or anyone. We just don't need it anymore. And I don't buy plastic and I don't accept it. I carry my own containers. We just don't need it.